Bud Light. Bud Light has taken another rankings hit and continues more and more fallout since the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. And I'm going to give some business advice to Bud Light during this segment too. But first, out of the Daily Wire, Bud Light has taken another hit in its rankings, losing its place as one of the country's top 10 most popular beers. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, has unsuccessfully tried to rehabilitate the Bud Light brand following severe backlash over its partnership with transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney back in April. Bud Light is currently sitting at the number 14 spot, a drop from number 9 last year, according to a YouGov survey, Fox News reported. The top 5 most liked beers in the United States include Guinness, Heineken, Corona, Samuel Adams, and Blue Moon, the report added. The survey from YouGov was conducted during the second quarter of 2023, April to mid-June, and sampled about almost 1,500 Americans, according to Newsweek. Some 42% of Americans still say that they liked Bud Light in the survey, which is the same proportion from 2022. Interesting. However, other brands surged in popularity at the same time. So while 42% of Americans say that they still like Bud Light, and it's the same as 2022, every other or significant number of other beers and brands surged in popularity, knocking Bud Light out of the top 10. Yes, out of the top 10. It used to be, I believe it was number 9, and now it is down to about 14. Makes sense. People would rather drink a beer that doesn't necessarily shove an agenda down their throat. That's why people have been drinking Coors. I've been drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon. Others drink Miller. And yes, those companies might engage in some woke crap. They might donate to an LGBTQ pride parade. They might. But they didn't make it as public and as glaring as Bud Light did. And they don't have influencers that actively push the lie that men can become women and women can become men. Sorry, Bud Light. I still have advice for Bud Light, but I want to cover this too. Bud Light keeps losing financially as well, according to Fox News. The latest data shows that the slump Bud Light has been in since partnering with Mulvaney, even in the summer months, the slump has continued even through the summer months when beer sales often surge. According to beer tracker Bump Williams Consulting, Bud Light sales dropped 28% for the second to last week of June, compared to the same time period from last year. Respectively, Yuengling, Coors Light, and Miller Lite all rose by 22%, 19%, and 16%, respectively, for that same period, according to Money Watch. Meanwhile, Circana noted that Modelo and Coors Light each saw their sales grow by around $10 million during that same period. So here's the thing, everybody. Modelo is actually owned by Anheuser-Busch. I reported previously that Modelo overtook Budweiser as being like the king of beers in terms of what its sales are, its rankings, and everything like that. And but Modelo is also owned by Anheuser-Busch. So if you want to actually boycott not just Bud Light and all of Anheuser-Busch, you should include Modelo in that list as well. But I also covered this on my daily show, the Anheuser-Busch CEO. So all of this, the financial loss, the loss in its ranking of most liked beers, this is all coming after the Anheuser-Busch CEO, Brandon Whitworth, as I reported earlier, spoke to CBS this morning on how they've been weathering the Mulvaney backlash. And he claimed the company would maintain its commitment to support the LGBTQ community, but in the future, it would, quote, focus on what we do best, which is brewing great beer for everyone, listening to our consumers, being humble in listening to them, and making sure we do right by our employees. So I've said it a lot. The only people I feel bad for in this entire thing are the ground level employees of Anheuser-Busch. Sucks. You had no control over this, and your company made an incredibly awful marketing decision. And I know it's hurting, but there's other jobs out there, and I recommend you find one. Honestly, an employee boycott of Anheuser-Busch would be just as great. So then we can actually basically decimate the entire company after what they did. And that's my personal opinion. But if I were to give my business opinion, here's my business opinion to Anheuser-Busch and to Bud Light. My business opinion would be go all in at this point. Be the gay beer. Be the gayest beer you could be, Bud Light. Be so gay you put, I don't know, Liberace to shame. Make the gay cans. Put Dylan Mulvaney on all of them. All of them. Push your agenda. Push that agenda. Because no amount of pandering will bring back your original base. I reported last week on my YouTube channel about the 4th of July ad where Budweiser tried to show, oh, well, we've been supporting veterans for 13 years. Please, conservatives, please come back to me. Come back to me, conservatives. That's what Budweiser's trying to do. They're trying to pander. They have American flag cans and everything to try to pander. We don't care. You're going to continue to lose. So my idea is be so gay. Be the gayest beer. Because that's the community you've chosen through your support of Dylan Mulvaney as an influencer. And again, an influencer that is just a paid actor. All Dylan Mulvaney does is pretend to be a woman and gets paid and gets endorsement deals and everything like that. Dylan Mulvaney is a paid actor. That's what you paid her to do. Him. Whatever. I don't care. The point being is go all in. Go all in on that because you're not getting conservatives back. And I hope that's well shown in your finances and in your rankings. Be the gay beer.